Okay, so like 2 months ago, I started playing League of Legends. I will say though, I did make an account back in like 2012 or something. I remember playing like one game, not understanding anything, just standing in game AFK, trying to figure out how to move my character. After all of my teammates had yelled at me and we of course lost, I gave up on the game. Until now. My experience trying to learn the game, however, not the greatest. I can definitely see why 13-year-old me gave up back then. First things first, let's talk about the tutorial, or the lack thereof, because it does not teach you much at all. Even after Riot Games redid the tutorial, it is not much to brag about. First of all, you deal way too much damage compared to a regular game, and no one and nothing deals damage to your champion. This becomes especially hard to overlook when the turrets barely take your health. If I was to go level 1 in a normal game and stand under a turret, I would die almost instantly. Another thing that the tutorial does not explain is the different roles, or which roles usually go in which lane. A new player is faced with a decision of 3 different lanes, which would be fair enough if it didn't have such a big impact. And the jungler and the jungle is not even mentioned, which is one of the most impactful roles in the entire game. I even saw someone commenting that they thought the jungle was a place to hide. Imagine going there to hide and meeting the enemy jungler. The most confusing part of the game, however, the shop and its items, is just explained by use your gold to buy items. The shop and the many items in League is probably the most confusing part of the game. I never knew what to buy for each champion and I would just press random items. I didn't even know that there were sub-items that make up other items, which resulted in me waiting for like 2k gold to buy them, which can really matter in early game. How will a player know how to increase their champion's damage, etc., when not knowing which items to buy? Another important part of the game is the rune pages. I didn't even know that was a thing until people were yelling at me in game for having the wrong runes for my champion. They are extremely confusing to me still, and I constantly need to search builds on op.gg to figure it out. Not only is the tutorial very misleading when playing for the first time, but there are also the issue with Smurfs, aka experienced players portraying themselves as beginners in low-level games. These people will straight up yell at you for doing the slightest mistake. As a beginner, you are bound to make mistakes, especially considering the lack of learning from the tutorial. You can't buy the wrong items, you can't go with the wrong rune page for your champion, and you sure as hell cannot go in the wrong lane. Bot games and the tutorial teach you that there are no jungler and usually several people in each lane, which compared to normal games is totally wrong. Imagine trying to learn the game while having people flaming you in chat for doing something, but it's all you know. Okay, let's imagine for a moment that no one is flaming you in chat. Highly unlikely, but okay. Then comes the issue of all your team and all of enemy team being Smurfs. Because as if it wasn't hard enough to play with toxic people in the chat, beginners also have to deal with being completely shit on. It is probably one of the hardest games to learn because you face against people that have level 200 main accounts that have been playing for years. That's the most unfair part of it all. Even if you search for beginner guides on YouTube, you rarely have the chance to test things out. They will deny you minion kills, gank you while you have no idea what a jungler even is, and instantly kill you because there are so many levels higher than you and you have no idea how or what to do about it because you don't have the right tools. So I decided to learn the game, but I'm sure if I went in with the same mentality as 13-year-old me did in 2012, just wanting to try out and check out the game, I would have never kept playing. To have your first impressions of a game be toxic players screaming at you in chat and spamming you for something the tutorial didn't teach you, it's just an awful experience, and it would be for anyone. Of course you have the fine option of muting your whole team and the whole enemy team, but that takes away the whole social part of the game to me. It is almost impossible for new players to enjoy the game long enough to learn it, which is a big issue if Riot Games wants to gain new players in the future. I really hope Riot fix the tutorial once again and look into the issue with Smurfs, but that is highly unlikely considering they updated the tutorial in 2018 after years of complaining about the old Ash building Tormate tutorial. And also how they said like 4 years ago that they were going to address the Smurfs and low level issue, but haven't done anything after like countless posts, etc. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. Thank you!